What is up, guys? We are back for Raven's Reviews, and today we are reviewing Borderlands 3. Now, this has been a personal favourite of mine, but before we dive right into it, I want you to remember to go and like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification icon so you know when all my videos go live. And now let's jump right into the Borderlands 3 review. Right, so if you don't know what Borderlands is as a series, it has had Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, Borderlands a pre-sequel, and Borderlands 3. So this is the fourth game out of the franchise, despite it being named number 3. So, what is this game all about? As you can probably work out, it's a first-person looter shooter, and it is classed, Borderlands has claimed this, that they have been the first game to, they were the first people to invent looter shooters. That this is where it all kicked off with Borderlands. Now, you can take that as you will, believe it however you want. I've grown up with all these games. I've grown up with Borderlands 1, and throughout all of them, I could say that this was close to being my favourite, but not quite. We'll get into that later. So, let's jump right into it with the storyline. So, the storyline. You can play as one of 4 characters, each portraying a different class. The class in the gameplay that you can see here is called Zane. He is a hunter assassin class, if you want. I think that's what he classes himself as. Now, Zane is a special character. He can actually have 2 action skills equipped, which is what you can see, the drone and the shield, instead of having a grenade mod. Now, with these characters, this is different from our previous Borderlands games. You can have a choice of 3 action skills. Before, in previous games, you would only have 3 class advancements, shall we say, for your action skill. And depending on what tree you went down, would then give you different. It would turn your action skill different. Anyway, I'm going off the beaten track here. Yeah, so this is one of the 4 characters that are in the game so far. The other 3, one is a siren, I forget her name. Another is Flak, who is a beast master, who is the first person ever to be able to have a selection of beasts to control. And the third is Mose the gunner, who has a big titan, shall we say, that you can get in and ride around in and blow stuff up in. So, depending on what class you pick, I mean, at the end of the day, you can pick whatever class you want, but some classes are easier to play than others. If you plan on playing online or playing with friends, obviously maybe Mose or Amira, which is the siren's name I remember now. They may be better suited than if you was playing solo like I am here, which is why I chose Zane, because you can have 2 action skills active at once. It's entirely up to you, but I do believe that based on how you plan on playing the game, you definitely will have a better time depending on what character you choose. So the storyline of Borderlands 3, I think I went off the beaten track again. Yeah, I did. Oh well. So, the storyline. You are a vault hunter. You, as the name portrays, hunt vaults. Vault, hunt vault. And in this game, you are working with characters that have portrayed themselves in previous games. I'm not going to dive too deep into that in case you haven't played the previous games, and maybe you're new to the Borderlands franchise and this is the first game that's caught your eye because it's the most recent one. It doesn't matter playing the previous games. I feel like you may struggle with the story a little bit, but if you're not bothered by it, you could definitely start off with this game. Would I recommend going back and playing the previous games first? 100%. Because I love these games and I'm very, very biased, and this is why this review is going to be very, very good. And it's not going to say too many negatives. However, that doesn't mean that there aren't any negatives at all. But would they dive into that later. I'm going off the track again. I need to talk about the story. Focus on the story. So, you work with these other people from the previous games to go and hunt these vaults. There are people, evil people, let me reiterate that, evil people after these vaults. These are called the Calypso twins. These are the main protagonists of the game, and they want to set out to destroy you. Now, you are based on the starter planet, which is Pandora. Pandora is a... if you've ever heard the word Pandora, such as Pandora's box, Pandora, not the jewelry company, but in any other sense, you will know that normally Pandora is a mystical, dangerous planet being item. And that is exactly how Borderlands has portrayed it. It is a barren wasteland full of everything that wants to kill you. So it is literally a kill or be killed scenario on this planet. However, in this game, it is the first game where you can actually travel to different planets. As you can see in this gameplay, this is clearly not a barren desert wasteland known as Pandora. This is Promethea. But I won't jump into too many of these planets because I do not want to spoil it for you. Let's move on. So the Calypso twins are after these vaults. They are hungry for power. You travel around these planets and hunt these vaults to stop them. That is literally the main storyline. That's all I can tell you. Now let's talk about the gameplay. So the gameplay is, again, it's pretty basic. It's a first-person looter shooter. You pick up weapons that you think look cool or do more damage or have this special element, and you pick it up and you fire it at enemies. It's not that hard. That's all it comes to with the gameplay, really. Obviously, there are badasses, which are higher, tougher level enemies. There are a variety of enemies. It's not always the same sort of thing. You do have to learn to predict certain patterns. Do you get overwhelmed with enemies? Yes. Do you feel godlike because you can annihilate them that quickly? Not always. Late game, definitely, especially if you haven't put the game enhancers on after you've completed the game. Like you just saw, I blew some guy up with one bullet. But you've got to remember that I am max level 50 in this, and I'm fighting level 15s. Yeah, I never felt overpowered throughout this game, apart from the very end here. But this is after the game. This is pre-completion. So we don't need to. So don't feel like you're going to jump in. You're going to feel like a god. It's not that sense at all. You can ask anybody else. And it doesn't feel like that at all. I don't know how much I can reiterate that for those that are worried that this game may come across too easy. Again, this game doesn't have a difficulty mode until you've... It's not as simple as like easy, medium, hard. This game, I don't believe, has a difficulty system, from what I can remember rather. All I can remember is that once you've completed this game, it then gives you the option to do something called True Vault Hunter mode, which goes back through the whole game, does the whole storyline again, with harder, tougher enemies, which offers you, in return, higher and tougher level loot. Have I done this yet? No, I have not. Do I plan to? Yes, I definitely do. I think I'll go through with the rest of the other characters in the game first, before I decide to go back and do True Vault Hunter mode, so I can see what their gameplay style is like. So, let's talk about the late game. Let's talk about pre-completion while we're here. So pre-completion, once you've completed the game, there are side missions in the game. There are over 50 side missions, I believe, in this game that you can go and do after you've completed it. You don't have to do them all as you're making your way through the story. Feel free to if you wish. Comes the same with exploration and doing these crew challenges. These are basically the collectibles of this game. They have them in every single area. As you can see, some maps vary from massive to, like this one, to very small, which you will see later on. So there is a lot to do. Don't worry about just because you complete the main story, that's the game done brilliant. It's not. There are a lot more things you can do and challenge yourself with. Especially if you're online, and you guys have, like, you got with your mates on like a weekend or something, and you've smashed the main story out over the weekend, you're like, cool, what game should we play next? No, don't do that. Go back, do the side missions, do the slaughterhouses, which are tournaments basically. Rounds of enemies will come at you as PvE. Rounds of enemies will come at you, and you can continue to fight them, and you will get bonus loot and bonus enemies come out and legendaries. There is a rarity system in this game. It goes white, green, blue, purple, orange. Orange is legendary. They're the best, rarest ones you can find. You can farm legendaries if you really want to. There are loads of guides on YouTube that offer you to do that. So we've talked about the storyline, we've talked about the gameplay, we've talked about post, not pre, I kept on saying pre, I meant post game completion. Now let's talk about the trophy hunting. As I've told you guys, I do talk about the trophy hunting side for those that are the trophy hunters, the platinum pursuers, etc, etc. Or maybe you've completed the game, maybe you've completed all the side missions, you've seen that you haven't got that far off to get a platinum, maybe you want to go and get it. I don't offer trophy guides, unfortunately. However, there are loads of YouTube channels out there that do. I follow these guides as well to hunt these trophies and get the platinums. So unfortunately I have not myself got a platinum on this yet. That is what I'm currently working towards. As you can see in the background here, I'm going through all the planets, all the worlds, and I'm going and getting collectibles, and trying to find out where everything is. That is one of the collectibles. I know the achievements are such things as finding all the named locations on planets, getting all the collectibles on maps, etc, etc. That's all I can really talk about. Here I'll show you the screenshot of my trophy progression so far now. There you go, guys. As you can see, I'm pretty close and work my way up to it. Eventually I will get it. Now I am going to talk about one other extra thing that I remembered now is, for all of you Easter egg hunters out there, Borderlands is full of them. Do not worry about that. Borderlands is full of Easter eggs. Here, I'll cut to a Easter egg that I found here for you guys now. Here we go, guys. So here we are in, I believe it's Athenas, Athenas HQ. So I ran around here to go get this collectible, and right out of the corner, bam, we have blue power troopers. We have a blue, red, black, yellow and pink power trooper. Now let's think about that. Power trooper, power. The colours remind me of a childhood show. Power Rangers. Here we go. Here we have a Power Rangers Easter egg. As you can tell by all the colours, not so much how they fight, because obviously they're Borderlands styled enemies, but that is an Easter egg in itself. There's the Power Rangers Easter egg, where you fight all the Power Rangers. With the red Power Trooper, as you can see there, that I'm shooting, the black, the yellow, the green and the blue as well. That was quite a funny Easter egg that I found. I didn't even mean to find it. I didn't know that that appeared there, and it's just something you come across. Again, you find these by doing side missions, by exploring, by looking up guides even, and going and hunting them if you really wanted to. I know some of these Easter eggs drop specific legendaries that are quite funny and can be quite powerful as well. But for now, guys, that is all I can say on Borderlands 3. If you have any more questions, comments, etc., feel free to drop them down in the comments below. I respond to as many of them as I can. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm going to let the rest of this battle play out for you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.